Hey, it's Felicia Pride, head honey and honey child and host of It's Good Over Here. Many of you may know, but I started as an author before transitioning to writing for the screen. And all my life, I wanted to write romance, which I've been able to do in my film and TV career. Shout out to Really Love and Tender and Look Back at It and Bel Air. But I never got a chance to do so as an author until now. I'm so excited to announce the upcoming release of my first romance novella entitled Come Close. It's also Honey Child's first foray into publishing fiction. You can pre-order Come Close now on Amazon. Here's a quick synopsis. After years toiling in Hollywood, Amaya Ellis is finally directing her first feature film in her hometown, unexpectedly reuniting her with Kyrie Tate, her high school sweetheart, whom she hasn't seen in decades. He wasn't just the one, he was the standard. But ambitions, dreams, and the world got in the way, and their relationship fell apart. They lost touch, moved on, or so they thought. As fate brings them together, they relive their own movie of their past love and find themselves creating a new story.
And it's been interesting because as part of getting projects going for Honey Child in Hollywood, I had to be like, I'm starting a production company for Black women 40 and over. And when you say that to Hollywood, it sounds nuts. Okay. This is a business that favors youth, right? Definitely does not prioritize Black women. But I said it with my whole chest.
Welcome, honeys in training, and all of those who love us. I'm Felicia Pride, writer, filmmaker, and founder of media and production company Honey Child, where we tell stories that speak to Black women of a certain age with love. And you are tuning into one of our things, It's Good Over Here. It's Good Over Here is your ticket to the delicious adventures in Honeyland. It's a celebration of how good it can get on the other side of 40 across career, life, and love. In each episode, we offer inspiration and insight on aging boldly because, honey, it is good over here.
Honeys, have you ever wanted to start something that felt so big that you were incredibly intimidated, overwhelmed, but there was just this burning desire in you that you had to do it? Well, that's what we're talking about today on this solo episode of It's Good Over Here. The solo episodes give you a glimpse into my personal adventures in life, career, sometimes love. And today I want to talk about why I started Honey Child. So many of you may know that Honey Child is a media and production company that is geared towards telling stories by, for, or about Black women 40 and over. And we do that across audio, film and television, editorial, social, digital, books, and events. But when I first had the idea to do it, it felt so incredibly big. It felt huge. It felt overwhelming, but I knew that it was something that I had to do. It felt like a calling. And for those of you who are entrepreneurial out there, you kind of get it. Like, I've always been an entrepreneur by nature. I have held jobs, sometimes more often than not unsuccessfully, where I was just like, I want to be my own boss. I want to be doing my own thing. So I've been an entrepreneur for a really long time, a freelancer for a really long time, and have run businesses previously. But it was something about starting Honey Child that felt different, that felt really mission driven, that felt like it was the culmination of everything I had done over the past 25 years of my career. And it just felt special. But that did not make it any easier. So I'm, want to kind of paint the scene of where the roots came from for Honey Child. I'm working in Hollywood, and I am being staffed on television shows as a writer. I'm writing features, and I'm having a really great career, but I'm learning a few things. One, I'm watching a lot of programming, and there was some great programming, DEI aside and what's happening now, but a lot of great programming that really represented or tried to represent a bigger range of Black folks, particularly Black women. But I still felt like the conversations that I was having with my friends, the experiences that I was having at life as a 40 plus woman, Black woman, were not, I didn't see them widely being represented on screen. So that was one. I saw an opportunity. Two, I noticed working in Hollywood that one of the things that really kind of pissed me off was just the fact that writers, talent were treated as like creatives for hire. Not a lot of agency, not a lot of power. I saw that producers seemed to have a lot more power. And I'm like, well, why don't I become a producer? Why don't I try to develop my own production company so that I can cut out some of the middle people that are in between me and buyers, me and networks and studios, but also me and the audience. And three, I actually went to school for a business degree. I have a degree in marketing, and I always think about audience. I always think about, even with my projects, who is this project for? And as I started to think about the types of stories that I wanted to tell, I wanted to be specific in audience because I wanted to be able to start with a target audience and then go from there. And I realized I want to speak to myself. I want to speak to Black women like me because it's really hard, one, to speak to all Black women because we are so different. We are so vast, ages, lifestyles, all the things. So for me, in order to be specific and targeted, I said, I want to speak to Black women like myself, Black women like my friends. So those are kind of some of the three reasons why. Now, I had the reasons why, but I also kind of had to develop an underlying mission, an underlying theme, because even speaking to Black women 40 and over, there's so many avenues, angles that you can go after. And the one word that has always been at the forefront of my life is freedom. And so Honey Child's ethos or mission, which is a very grand mission, is to help Black women get free. Because honestly, I want to help myself get free, right? So that's the grand mission of it. And that helped to also focus the storytelling. So the type of storytelling that we do is focused on showing Black women getting free, showing Black women living bold lives, showing Black women finding themselves again, bumping up against the challenges in trying to do so. That's a lot of what our storytelling is about. And it's not just in our storytelling. I tell the Honey Child team all this all the time. I want us to actually be living free. It's not enough for us to just be doing it in our storytelling. How can we actually be doing it in our lives? So once I had that ethos in there, that really helped a lot. But then it's logistics, right? How do you actually start the business? And that is still a learning curve in terms of production companies. So what I realized early on, or what I thought about early on, was also wanting to make sure that we had a brand. I think a lot of production companies don't necessarily have brands, right? And honestly, your average person doesn't even know that many production companies. You may know Shondaland, you may know Monkey Paw, you may know A24, but there are tons and tons of production companies without a brand. And I don't mean just a name recognition. I mean a brand. You know what you're going to get with Shondaland. You know what you're going to get with A24. So in thinking about the logistics of a production company, I'm I want to make sure that we have a brand. So that's why focusing on audience helped, but also starting to think about how can we connect with that audience from day one. So even though we started out traditionally as a production company, we were really focused on community building from day one. We were doing that through our socials, which we still do. We were doing that we started a newsletter pretty early on in our journey. The podcast, our first podcast, Child Please, to really kind of establish the type of storytelling we do, who we do it for, and how we do it. Also, logistically, being able to be on more platforms and in more spaces was important to me too. One, because film and TV is slow money. Okay. And for me, I always say I don't have this gift of writing and creating for my scripts and stories to just languish on somebody's desk, but also because we are mission driven, it is important that we make our work. So we also started thinking early on, okay, yes, we're going to be in film and TV, but also what other arenas are we going to be in so that we can be making things, we can be moving in our mission, and we can be connecting with our community. And so that's why a podcast was something that we started with early on. That's why we also long-term planning was like, we want to get into books eventually. We want to throw events. So it was all part of the plan from jump of like, how do we diversify both from a storytelling perspective, but also an income perspective? How can we start to build different verticals so that we can have different income streams? And then logistically, I had to position myself, and I'm still doing this as a CEO. In Hollywood, people knew me and know me as a writer. And again, as I mentioned, I kind of noticed that Hollywood wants to keep you in a certain lot, right? They don't want you to get too powerful. They don't want you to get too big for your britches. You're a writer. You stay as a writer. So I really had to, and I still fight to this day, to be looked at as writer, producer, and also now as a CEO, right? And that was also some things that I had to do, like psychologically for myself, work out through therapy. Like, no, girl, you're a whole CEO. So I had to start to like make it known in the industry that Honey Chile is a bona fide production company, had to make sure that we had projects that validated that. So for instance, we have projects set up at Amazon, television project at Amazon, film project at Lifetime, television project at CBS Studios. So working to make sure that Honey Chile had projects logistically. And as part of that, it required a team, right? I was a solopreneur for a really long time, and I am still working out the habits of a solopreneur. So I had to build a team, and we've fluctuated over the last 4 years that we've been in business, but they've all been Black women at the core of the team, which I'm really, really proud of. I've been able to work with some amazing Black women who have helped to build Honey Chile. And it's the team that really keeps us going, right? And that was an investment that I knew I had to make early on. Speaking of investment, Honey Chile has been bootstrapped by me, financed by me, and bootstrapped since its inception. So what that means is we don't have outside investment. We're definitely open to outside investment. We're open to, different ways to infuse finances. However, we also recognize the importance of ownership. We also recognize the importance of being able to be sustainable through sales ourselves. So that's also why we're continuously thinking about ways to have income generating activities outside of film and television. And I got to tell you, for the first couple of years, I wasn't as concerned about making money as I was of building the brand, getting the team in place. But now we are really focused on income generating and sustainability, particularly when we see all the changes that are happening in Hollywood. We do not want to succumb to whatever's going to go down with Hollywood. We want to be able to be sustainable on our own. After thinking about financing and team and income streams, it's also about having to put out some stuff, right? Having to show that we are a production company. So in addition to setting up those projects around town at different studios and networks, we did our first podcast, Child Please, which was nominated for NAACP award. But then we also produced our first short film, which was also a proof of concept for a feature film that is in development at Honey Chile. And it was called Look Back at It. And you can watch it on YouTube. We're going to drop the link in the show notes. But producing Look Back at It was such an amazing experience for Honey Chile because it really set up how we want to work. And I think that's another thing that when we're as entrepreneurs, a lot of times we're so deep in the hustle that we can't really get into work culture and that sort of thing. But it's important. And it really helped establish the base for us. So we shot Look Back at It in Baltimore, but it really was a family affair, a friend affair, a community affair. And we just had so much fun. And it really spoiled me and spoiled Honey Chile in terms of this is the way that we want to do projects. This is sort of the blueprint for how we want to work and make things. So it was important for us to do that. And then Look Back at It went on to win several awards at film festivals, and now we are fully developing it into a feature film. So that was amazing. So we had to just validate the fact that we could produce things and also make work. So what I will say is that this journey so far over the last 4 years, we are celebrating our 4-year anniversary this year. And I'm like, still can't even believe it because the time has flown, but it has not been easy. I'm not going to sit here and front like it has been easy. It has been really humbling. One, just from a time perspective. So my fellow honey entrepreneurs out there who have jobs, because for the most part, I have a full-time job as a TV writer, right? I'm in the room from 10 to 5 most of the time. So for those of us who have full-time jobs, trying to find time to build our businesses can be challenging. The challenges of a CEO, being a leader, learning how to be a leader, learning how to be a strong leader, learning how to delegate. The challenges of financing, right? We know the facts around Black women entrepreneurs and the lack of financing that we receive, the lack of investment that we receive, the lack of support that we receive, and all these mentorship programs that don't give us any money, which is what we really need. So that is a big challenge. Building your team is a challenge. Marketing is a challenge. Working with limited resources is a challenge. And some days I'm just like, why am I doing this? I wake up and I'm like, why am I doing this? And then the mission comes back and the desire comes back. And also just like
Acting on your ideas is a form of self-love. And when I decided to write the Creative Comeback Workbook and Journal, it was with you in mind. Storytellers with stories inside of you that you need to get out into the world. But life, fear, uncertainty has a way of leaving us stuck. But no more. It's time to reclaim our creative practice and get unstuck. The Creative Comeback Workbook and Journal can help you get back on creative track. 30 days of dynamic prompts, exercises to stimulate creativity, alongside motivational quotes, journal pages, and more. If you're ready to create again, get your copy of the Creative Comeback Workbook and Journal today at creativecomeback.com. That's creativecomeback.com. Because it's never too late to become the artist you always wanted to be.
The ownership of it all comes back of like, this is our thing that we're building. And that's incredibly important to me. And it's funny because I started my first business, I would say I was like 27. And I basically was helping authors market their books. But back then, I definitely, the mission wasn't there. I think now as I get older, I really just want to do things that are aligned with how I feel in life, with my values, with my goals. I am not one of those who will downplay the importance of making money. But I also realize that I have to want to do it. I have done so many jobs in my life that I have not wanted to do. So in this stage of life, it's a lot less of that and much more of what's aligned, what feels good, and because when things feel good, you do them better. So that's definitely, I would say, the difference between younger Felicia and honey Felicia when it comes to entrepreneurship. So, I let myself feel the challenges. I let myself, even feel the doubt sometimes, but then I come back around of like, this was an idea and a movement really that was placed on your heart. Keep going. And it's always so validating when y'all listen to our podcast and leave a comment. You listen to or watch our short films and leave a comment. You are on our social media. You are reading articles on Yes Honey and commenting. You're sharing. You're sending us notes about what we're doing. Like all of that really, really matters. So I thank y'all in advance. So it's not easy, but I will say that this journey over the last 4 years has been the most gratifying journey in my life. And I've done a lot of things. I've been around for a while, but building Honey Child, something that is so special, but also so radical. I'm going to say it radical, has been so amazing. And it's been interesting because as part of like getting projects going for Honey Child in Hollywood, I had to be like, I'm starting a production company for Black women 40 and over. And when you say that to Hollywood, it sounds nuts. Okay. This is a business that favors youth, right? Definitely does not prioritize Black women. But I said it with my whole chest. And surprisingly, more opportunities have come my way, have come Honey Child's way, because we've been specific, we've been unapologetic, and we've been great. Those things have definitely changed the conversation for us. And so it just feels so gratifying to be able to say, this is the type of storytelling we do, and have people who get what we're doing, have audiences, honeys in training, those who love us, really understand what we're doing and support it, has been amazing. So I'm thinking about and consistently think about the next 5 years of Honey Child, the next 10 years of Honey Child. And it's exciting. One of the things that we're really interested in is getting our first feature film off the ground, look back at it, the feature, and we definitely want to go back to Baltimore, my hometown, and film it. We're excited about building out Yes Honey, which is our editorial platform and digital community on Substack. We are excited about It's Good Over Here and continuing the conversations with Honeys Living Really Bold Lives. We are excited about the film and television projects that we have set up around town. We're excited about trying to make more things and collaborate with honeys and other wonderful, amazing artists to make things happen. We're excited about putting on more events. We had our first Honey Child Fest in Baltimore, which was a sold out event. So we're excited to do more of that. So the future is very bright. And I'm so excited and so glad that I made this decision to start this company, that we have kept going and that we will keep going. Entrepreneurship has and continues to challenge me in really beautiful ways, and has pushed me to learn things about myself. I would say the top 3 things that I've learned about myself is, 1, I work well when I'm pushed into a corner. And sometimes I will consciously push myself into a corner in order to come out swinging. And entrepreneurship is like one of those, it's always a boxing match. It feels like sometimes you are up against the ring and the business is knocking you around. Other times, though, you come out swinging. Something I'm continuing to learn is just not to take everything personally in business, that sometimes things are just business, because you as a CEO will have to make difficult decisions. And sometimes those decisions are not personal. They are you trying to make sure that your business will sustain itself. So I have learned empathy around difficult decision making, but also I've learned that sometimes it is business, but even if it's business, that does not mean that it has to be cruel. And then I would say I also have learned about myself is the resiliency, the ability to bounce back. And I feel like I'm getting better and better with, when situations arise, not letting them get to me, if that makes sense, because there's no time. And also I don't want to spend my time feeling a certain kind of way about the situation. That is me more often than not, where something happens and I could spend time feeling a certain kind of way, but I've decided and chosen not to spend time feeling a certain kind of way. It is what it is. I'm going to handle it and I'm going to keep it moving. So for any honeys out there who are on their entrepreneurial journey, just know that you are not alone. I see you. I feel you. We are in this together. Also, I'm one of those who does not believe, keep going. Like sometimes we may need to stop, shut down. I've shut down businesses before, started over, took a break, got a job. do whatever it is for you. This has been an ongoing journey that I have been on for decades now. So I'm so excited to have been able to share my entrepreneurial journey with you. But no matter what, no matter the size of the adventure, I encourage you to take that adventure. Whatever it is that is burning inside of you that you want to do, that you want to seek out, that you want to try, go for it, honey. Do not wait for permission. The last thing about this entrepreneurial journey is that it really has me in my gratitude. We do this for honeys. We do this for honeys in training. We do this for those who love us and get it. And to have that love back is amazing. So thank y'all. Thank y'all. And look out for what's next from Honey Child.
It's Good Over Here is a Honey Child thing. Honey Child is a media company that speaks to Black women 40 plus, honeys as we like to call them, across audio, digital, film, TV, books, and more. Don't forget to follow Honey Child on Instagram, Threads, and TikTok at It's Honey Child. And visit our website at honey-child.com. For bonus content and other exclusive honey dip stories, subscribe to our Substack at yeshoney.substack.com. That's yeshoney.substack.com. Until next time, honeys, it's good over here. You coming?
Hey, honeys, have you signed up for our newsletter? A Taste of Honey delivers right to your inbox bi-weekly and is full of honey news, conversation, and shenanigans. Sign up now at honey-child.com. That's honey-child.com.